This episode of Boss Rush After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn more about Boss Rush Media's family of podcasts, head on over to bossrushmedia.com or patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for your continued support.
Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the network. It's your boy, LeRon Dawson's back at the house tonight. And as always, I've got Stephanie Klimov with me. What's up, girl?
Pew, pew, pew. Hi, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Pew, pew, pew.
And I'm feeling festive. I'm recording with my lovely Christmas tree that my son and his peckerhead friend from down the street decorated.
Oh my God, Becker! you really don't like his friend, do you?
I do not like him, but they made a nice Christmas tree.
We're gonna stick a pin in that and come back to that in a second. Let me go ahead and introduce the one, the only Pat Klein.
Pew, pew, pew. Guys, I'm finger banging you guys.
Oh, okay.
Tighten it up.
And as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Corey Derrick. What's up, dude?
Oh man, let me tell you, I have no idea what's up. I am beyond exhausted from this year.
Stop it.
Being
You
over.
finger bang us. What the hell?
But good things are on the horizon, Corey. So it'll all be worth it.
Good things.
Good things.
Tell me though, have you ever felt unhappy while finger banging? Maybe you should try it.
Well, actually, yes, but I will save that story for a different day.
Oh boy.
Okay.
With Corey, it's always good. It's always
I know.
good.
He always just surprises us with like one crazy story after another.
Okay. I will tell the story now since this is the first public episode of the new year. So I will lead off with a bang.
This is a gift.
A
Bang.
finger bang. So yeah, I was dating this girl in high school and my parents were out and we were, being horny 17 and 18-year-olds. And I had like upstairs in my parents' house, one of the bedrooms had a couch and where I played video games and did my school's work and whatever. And then I had a separate bedroom because my parents have 5 bedrooms and 1 child. So, we were messing around and, we were laying there and we didn't hear, but my mom came upstairs.
Uh-oh.
And so we didn't get caught, but the way we were laying on the couch, I had to leave my fingers where they were for like 25 minutes as my mom and her talked about something and we were all talking for some reason.
Oh no.
In reality, it was probably only like 5 minutes, but it felt like
forever.
3 days.
Yeah, felt your fingers pickle.
Kind of. I mean,
Pat for the win tonight. Oh
that
my
was
God.
the line.
yeah. So there's your story for the new year.
Whoo.
That was
That was a good story.
Yeah, that was a sticky situation.
Just to stay on brand for After Dark. Like I'm a fan. I'm a fan of digital penetration. I am.
Digital? What? Like
that's what you were.
Digits.
I thought you meant like digital, like
video games.
I was like, how does that happen? How does that work?
I mean, it can if people know what they're doing.
I'm sorry. I was using the special victims unit terminology. No, I'm sorry.
I'm aware of that now. I just, the world has trained us that digital meant.
Yeah.
Electronic.
Digital was where my mind went, was technology.
Speaking of, remember that NSYNC song, Digital Get Down?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has a new meaning.
There's a lot of sexy time to that song.
Sexy time to that song? Okay.
Okay, so
I dated girls that like to
Stephanie,
sync.
I didn't forget about you. We're gonna circle back. Why is your son friend of Peckerwood?
Oh gosh. All right. I'm so sorry. I'm a bad person for talking shit about children, but he's just gosh, he frustrates me. He is so disrespectful to his parents. Um when his father told him like, "Hey, I want you guys to play outside. It's a nice day. We're not going to do video games right now." And the son's like, "No!" And
First of all,
bat.
how dare the dad kick them out?
He hurled his basketball into the woods, and he says, "I'm going to keep doing stuff like that until I get what I want." And I said, "Hey, he's your father. He's kind of the boss." He goes, "He's not the boss of me. I'm the boss
Huh?
of me." I'm like, "Whoa."
That
And
is
Well,
he
where
hey,
my dad would
at
have
least,
taken the belt, using the
well, I
butt
mean, at least
blend.
that kid knows about self autonomy. He
yeah,
knows about personhood.
I don't know about that. And every time like he's ever been asked to do something by his parents, he's just blatantly like, "No." Doesn't give to like just no shit about his parents or his authority, which obviously I have a problem with the way I've been raised. And every time he's like at my house, I get super nervous because if he ever does that to me, I'm gonna fucking anyway. And here's where it gets a little bit more worrisome to me is um I'm gonna summarize this. My son went on maybe I told this story. My son went on a field trip to a roller skating arcade place,
Hmm.
and Dimitri, for whatever stupid reason, is like, "Nikolai, your mom gave you $20 to play in the arcade, but any tickets that you earn, you need to give it away because I don't want you getting cheap, stupid shit." I'm like, I get it, they're cheap, stupid shit, but how can you tell an 8-year-old that wins a bunch of tickets to then give it away? That's
Yeah.
torture. It's horrible. So I learned later that this kid was trying to convince Nikolai to not listen to his father. He says, "Nope, you shouldn't listen to your father. You should listen to yourself." So the
Oh,
kid's like
see,
dissuading my son to not listen to his parents.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Shock.
that's that. Oh
That's
yeah,
a problem.
that's a sin against humanity.
I'm like, you're gonna fucking convince my kid to do drugs in a couple of years. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. And he's the one that's like, "Yeah, I want GTA. Like I'm already way past Fortnite. I want to play GTA." I'm like, "You're fucking 8 years old. No way and if you ever if your parents, I don't know how, give you Grand Theft Auto and you're playing it, my son's never coming over
Well,
to your house."
well,
He's just
I feel like
rude and no respect to authority at all.
I feel like we need to put a pin in that and talk about parenting styles. We kind of glanced on that like a couple months ago about parenting styles and stuff like that. But I think we can get into like the real nitty gritty about that. Particularly because like you two have kids and Pat and I do not. Well, Pat has Zelda. You know,
Hmm.
and she's the equivalent of a badass child, and like my roommate has two puppies, and they're the equivalents of like toddlers on the fucking terrible twos. But but I feel like that's a topic that we can get into one day. Because in all honesty, in my mind, I kind of know what my parenting style would be if I were a parent. So that I guess it'd be an interesting conversation. Um, but I do want to ask you one question, Stephanie. Um, would you because like parents do this all the time, and most parents don't even have the work like the wherewithal for it. Would you get your son a copy of Grand Theft Auto if you were the one monitoring like what he does and how he plays it?
No.
Okay.
I would say yes to Fortnite because that is at least a little bit better, like violence wise, quote unquote, is so
Hmm.
quickly. Fortnite's T for teen, so if you want to be follow the letter of the law, he can't play it. But I'm not that bad. I look at it; it's animated violence. It's not gory. My concern with Fortnite is interacting with strangers. But I was told that there is a way to shut off the online aspect. So like I am more inclined to be okay giving my son Fortnite if he requested it because I still feel like that type of violence is really not that big of a deal so long as he mentally understands it, and I feel like he's mentally there. I don't think he's mentally mature enough to handle what's on GTA. How can I possibly monitor what he's playing unless I'm breathing behind his neck, whatever? And I'm sorry. There's a line I draw. I know there'll be a time in the future, if it's not video games, it'll be movies where he'll be able to have access to things that I wouldn't agree with if he's at a friend's house. But that's a road I'll have to cross when I get there and have a conversation with him. And I
From
don't
what
know.
I know of your son, I feel like if he were to actually see GTA, he probably would not like it.
No, he hates guns, which is
Hmm.
kind of interesting. I'm not an anti-gun person, and when I say that, that doesn't mean I'm also a redneck that has a arsenal in my bunker or something. Like, I just have a very neutral view on Second Amendment and guns, rightful ownership, responsibility. Never really talked about it with my son, but the way he talks, you think he was raised by someone that's like anti-firearm. He's like, I hate guns. They kill people. They're horrible. He doesn't like Nerf guns. He doesn't want to talk about guns. He doesn't want to look at guns, which I guess overall is a good thing. I just don't know where that came from. So like when I was kind of nervous he might pick up on Fortnite, he goes, "I don't want to play Fortnite. It's violent." I'm like, "Who are you?" So you're right, Pat. Like he probably
Hmm.
won't have any interest in GTA.
Yeah.
So
By the way, I wasn't trying to be an asshole asking you this
no,
question,
no,
but I legit did ask you a gotcha question, but no, it's interesting because like like what I've noticed about parents, some parents have a very hands-on approach to it, some parents have a very hands-off approach to it, and some parents have a "I'm going to be your friend" approach.
no.
It's like being the friend, even to me who like does not have kids and stuff like that. Like being being close with your kids is different than being friends with your kids.
I 100% agree because a lot of parents feel like being friends is the way you get close. And again, I'm not going to draw the line and tell people how to parent, but from what I've seen about parents that try to be friends, it backfires when you finally need to pull authority there.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not, as I've told my son, like, I'm not trying to keep you from enjoying your life. you know when there's something that you want to try out or do or play or whatever, you have that conversation with me. I am first and foremost your parent. My job is to make sure you're alive and not get killed and stuff like that, like keep you alive. And my secondary job is to give you the proper tools to be able to enjoy and properly handle life and the fuckery that it entails when he gets older.
Hmm.
So what he's going to end up liking may not be what I like. I'm not here to try and raise a mini me, but I am, going to try and coach him through things and expose him to things when it's appropriate. And I've always encouraged open conversation. So I told him I might not necessarily agree with some things, but I told him, talk to me about anything, even if you think it's something that might make me mad. I'm not going to gloss over it and act like your best friend and whatever, but there's an open door policy, and so far, knock on wood, I feel like I've established that. That's why he told me, "Hey mom, just so you know, my friend told me to not listen to my dad and use those tickets to buy me games." And I was like, "Well, I'm glad you told me. I really appreciate it. How did you feel? What did you feel tempted
Hmm.
to do it? Blah blah blah." So, I don't know.
Your boy's so wholesome.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes I feel like he's my
Ah,
parent.
the exasperated. I heard it in your voice. I heard that.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. And sorry, last bit about this kid. He because I watch them sometimes. He doesn't treat him very well, especially when we're over at his house. He's just like, you sit here and you watch me play Fortnite. Like you sit
Hmm.
here and the kid always has his tablet on playing YouTube videos, even if he's playing video games. He's that kid. He comes over to play dates with his tablet playing. I'm like, dude, you're here to play with my son, not to watch your freaking tablet. Uh, and I kind of question whether or not the parental settings are on. So anyway, I struggle.
Well, since we're talking about kids right now, Corey, don't you have an interesting story?
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of I mean, as a parent, it's kind of a WTF moment, I guess. But like my daughter's in kindergarten,
Mhm.
and I guess when my wife went to pick her up the other day, the teacher came out to the car, which she never does. Which my wife thought she was in, like Riley was in trouble or something, and she told my wife that she said the F word in class, and like my wife talked to my daughter about it, and she like apparently she said it like under her breath during like some sort like a
Mm.
like what the fuck or whatever,
Oh.
Ah,
like while she was like
Oh,
doing a craft or something, and the teacher heard her, and then I don't know where the story kind of goes from there, but the point is that she said that, and I I hope she didn't hear it from me, but she very well could have. Uh,
At least
I
she
was
didn't
just about
scream it.
I was just about to ask the question, like
I
where could she possibly have heard it from?
well, my wife and I say that word often, but
Mm,
usually we try to say it away from the kids. I also
Mhm.
know that like when my nephews play video games, they slip up and say that too. So, and she's with them all the time. So
mm,
it could have been that. Or my daughter said she heard it from someone in class, that word, which
mm.
I don't know if she's telling the truth or if she's saying that so we don't get in trouble or something.
Yeah, but it's also in the
But
realm of possibility that
yeah, yeah. Uh, but
So how
yeah,
did you guys handle it, like, with her after the
well,
fact?
my my daughter also has like a bad not a bad case, but like a really I don't a really I guess strong case of like ADHD, and
Mm,
like very like she's very timid in large groups, or like when you yell at her she just doesn't listen because that's not she'll just shut down and ignore everybody, and sometimes like even when she's tired she'll think it's funny to like hit people or like kick or whatever, right? And like I know that's part of that is normal for children to do that, but also she does it way more than I think the average person would do it, like by a long shot. And so I don't know. My wife talked to her, and then when my wife told me, she said, "Just don't say anything to her. We already had a discussion about
mm,
it, a long one, and I don't want her to feel worse than she already does because she felt really bad. Because like kids don't know, they
yeah,
don't know those words are
yeah.
bad, and so that's kind of how we handled it. Now, if it happens again, it'll probably be a different story, but
Daddy gonna lay down the hammer.
uh,
no, yeah, you're right. I think there's always that moment, Corey, because you're not the only one. My son dropped the F-bomb last year, I think. And I openly blame my mom because she drops F-bomb all the time, but she'll vehemently deny it. But he had to have heard it somewhere, and then he got pushed to the edge because I think my parents were pressuring him to play basketball to the point where he just flipped and he says, "I don't want to play fucking basketball." Um,
What? If you use it in the right context, oh my
yes,
god.
good for him.
exactly. He said it because
And he said that to your parents.
yes, to my mom, my Chinese mom.
You know what? I'm actually going to applaud your kid here.
I'll tell you, when kids exercise their personal autonomy, it is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I was like secretly laughing, but I kind of did what you did, Corey. Like, you talk to them and explain like how where it's appropriate and it's not so appropriate. But if it's the first time, like you don't the
Mhm.
kids at that age, they don't understand the
Yeah.
heaviness of the word.
Yeah.
I think on my first swear word, I got the bar soap in the mouth.
Ooh, ooh,
No, I got I can't remember. I can't remember how old I was. I was not teenage when the first time I let out a curse word, and I even think my curse word was like one of the severe ones. I think I said "damn" or something like that. Um, but I got the nice talking to for that one.
Damn is the devil's word, LeRon.
Yeah, Yeah. Yeah. So,
according to my
oh,
mom.
so just imagine when you put God in front of the damn.
Oh, I
Ooh.
know.
HELL hockey
Oh
sticks.
my
Yeah,
Yeah.
gosh.
Or HE hockey sticks.
Can I
my
tell you guys something really funny about that statement? Like, oh my God. So I just am in the habit of not saying it. It's just a me thing. Don't. I just don't. I say, oh my gosh, and that's just a me thing. I don't give a crap about who says it and who doesn't. But with that backstory, so my son's going through CCD. I'm a CCD teacher. You go through the Ten Commandments. That's just like pretty staple and standard. Now he grows up saying, "Oh my gosh," because he copies it from me. So he's just not been in a household that says, "Oh my God," which whatever. But now that he's like with other kids, he hears kids saying, "Oh my God," like all the time, like every other sentence. I think the term "Oh my God" is like saying "like" in the '90s, and
Hmm.
he starts shouting in class like, "That's a swear. That's a terrible thing. You're not supposed to
Ah.
say it." I'm like, "Oh
Oh,
my gosh,
oh
Nikolai."
no.
And I made it very clear, like, this is a phrase that, like, I just choose not to say it. I just say, "Oh my gosh," and some people can. Like, I've from the get-go told him, like, other people say it, and it's not a big deal, but he just, like, took the letter of the law from the 10 commandments that he learned, and he starts, like, chastising other kids in class.
Oh God.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
When I was in
Somebody,
Utah,
somebody.
people had another way of saying it. It wasn't "Oh my God," because Mormons,
Mhm.
that is kind of sinful is to say the Lord's name. They're like, "Oh my heck,
Oh my heck.
oh my heck."
Doesn't really
Hmm.
roll off the tongue. Oh my
Weird.
heck. I think I'll stick with oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Or
Oh my heck.
with Ed, good googly moogly.
Oh, jeez. I think so. I really tried hard not to curse in front of my mom because I know what happened when when I didn't say that kind of stuff. But I remember the first time I actually slipped up in front of her. I was actually in college and they were visiting me at college and I was in my dorm room playing Madden, I think, against somebody and uh I like something happened. I was like shit. Like, and she was like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, well,
Here we
whatever."
go.
Yep.
My perfect angel
Yep.
boy
Yep.
just said
I
a swear
curse.
word.
Yep. So yeah,
Little
and
did
then
she know what he was doing on the couch.
oh, jeez, yeah, I know. Uh, but also my mom's favorite phrase growing up, and probably still to this day, I just don't hear it as much because I'm not around her all that much. But don't say the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
hmm, okay,
Yeah, at least my mom's not. My mom, for as God fearing as she is, she's not that uptight about it. Like, well, with me as an adult, like back when I was a kid, yeah, there was a clear issue, yeah,
hmm
but now as an adult and everything, plus the fact I'm like mom, I'm closer to 50 than I am to the 18, so
Yep.
you're gonna just have to let this go.
yeah.
I don't remember the first time I dropped the F bomb. I must have it must have been much later in life, but quick, just a background. My mom drops the F bomb probably like every other sentence. She just loves that words or she loves that word. I don't know. So like by the time I eventually dropped my first F bomb, my parents were like, "Steph, like you can't say that." I'm like, "Mom, you say fuck all the time." And she goes, "Yeah, well it's all your American movies and TV shows teaching me this word." So she
Oh, what
blamed
the hell ever.
American TV
Mhm.
shows and movies. She blames them for her saying it so much. I'm like, and I can't blame you for me saying it. Like,
Mhm.
um, let's see. Oh, and one quick story. This isn't a swear, but this goes to show like how kids really don't understand consequences of words till they learn. When some kids, some teenagers, they say "I hate you." They might say "I hate you" at one point in time to parents or family.
My daughter says it all the
Oh,
time.
okay. So I've never had, but then there's a that in Finding Nemo, way back when, where Nemo says "I hate you," and I saw that, and so I'm like, oh, that's a thing that kids say, and it's not that big of a deal. So because that movie, it was in my mind, I let that slip once. Let me tell you,
Hmm?
I might have said like "fuck you, you motherfucker, piece of shit, fuck your mom," like it was like my dad. Oh, I thought he was going to kill me. My parents, for some reason, they took that way more serious than any swear word. They're like,
My parents have gone off the deep end too. Like
"Mm,
I remember my parents having like a visible reaction
yeah,"
one time when I said that.
and I get it. If and when my son ever dares to say that, I probably might have that reaction. But
Or cluster pearls.
I remember though inside as a kid or whatever, how old I was, going, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." Like didn't realize
It was that serious.
it was that serious because I definitely didn't mean it to be that serious. So my poor son. I dare him. I dare him to say that to me.
She's just like she's waiting for it.
You won't know what's coming. Kids, they say the darndest things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well,
I do have a
before we,
funny. I that Stephanie. I don't know why this reminded me. It's a another story about my daughter. Real quick, it
Yeah,
has nothing to do with curse words or any kind of words things, but
with kids.
she's a kleptomaniac. Like, so she'll like her favorite thing to do is like steal rocks from school and bring them home for some reason. And like, there's like a whole collection of these. Uh, like when she was in preschool, the preschool was in a church, and the kindergarten church class, I guess, painted these rocks like, I don't know, they must have been learning about like Noah's Ark or something, because there was like turtles, like animal painting, like two by two or whatever. And like every day, like she would come home from school with these rocks. She's like, "Oh, we got them at school or whatever." And then we find out like after there's like probably 20 rocks on our kitchen table that are all painted like different animals. We're like, "What is going on?" We found out that she was stealing them from the church kids.
Stealing from the
your
church.
Yeah,
your daughter's like, ooh, shiny.
yeah.
I wonder if there's a correlation like ADD and like a little bit of klepto because my partner has
Yeah,
like really bad ADHD, and he told me as a kid when the ADHD symptoms were its worst, and his brothers and sisters told me he would like steal everything, like just take everything.
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, I had that problem.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
okay.
had that problem.
I didn't have that problem. My
Mm.
ADHD was pretty damn bad as a kid.
Oh, maybe yeah, maybe it's just like a
It's a well,
possible.
it's. I think it's because like it's one of the ways that we blow steam because like acting out definitely is frowned upon and stuff like that. But
Mm,
like it's that energy that we have that like it's like you always got to do something with your hands, or you're always sitting there fidgeting, like you're always bouncing your leg, and stuff like that. Like or you guys see it all the time with me on the podcast recordings. Like I am quick to like interrupt and cut people off because I just have something to say and all that stuff. It's one of those things, and yeah. So
mm,
like when it winds up being nervous energy. And you're just like, okay, I'm just pick
yeah.
this up and yeah, it's yeah.
Oh, well, it was cute. Now you have a. I hope you save those collection of animal rocks.
We do. They're like part of the decorations on our front porch now.
Oh,
So
sweet.
we got to figure out
That's
what we're
pretty
doing
cool.
when we move with them.
Leave them there and so let her build a new collection.
No, because
Huh.
she's in kindergarten now. She can't steal the turtle rocks anymore. She
She'll have to
has
find
to.
different collection.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, when we went to the final walkthrough of our house, there's rocks out front, like decorative landscaping rocks. She's like, "Can I bring one home?" And she like brought the biggest one home.
Of course.
I'm like, "You can just leave it here. All these rocks are going to be yours at some point." She's like,
Right. It's like,
"Really?"
yeah. Oh, sweet.
Oh, she's the best and the
That's
worst
cool
at the
that
same
she
time.
likes rocks.
Oh, she's already like painting her room in her mind.
Oh, do you guys have parent teacher conference at kindergarten?
Yeah. Um, hers are next week actually, I think.
Yeah, it's that time of year. I actually had the parent teacher conference tonight before this call for Nikolai.
Mm.
The type of conversation I had was definitely not that I think most conventional kids' parents have. Meaning,
Oh,
like,
really?
talk about, work and behavior. So, like, in typical stereotype fashion, being a Russian Chinese child, his math is his strong suit. But we spent like 90% of the time talking about Nikolai's behavior. Now, his behavior wasn't he's disruptive and hits people or bites people. No, it's he's policing other kids. So whenever other kids are doing something wrong, he flips out. And if the teacher doesn't correct it, he gets really upset and very fixated on that.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
don't know
God.
what to tell her. I'm like, I'm really sorry that my kid is that the policing
Your
asshole.
son's gonna be a vigilante, isn't he?
He's
Probably.
well, before he becomes a vigilante, he's gonna need to learn how to defend himself because man, like these kids are gonna get tired of him, like tattling.
Well, thank goodness he takes karate. That's for sure.
I
Oh,
couldn't remember for sure. I thought he was taking some type of self defense course.
Yeah. Another feedback is that he's like super hard on himself and he loves his hyperbole. He's like the worst case scenario, which is like it's almost like he's the embodiment of when my anxiety and OCD were the worst. But my anxiety and OCD were the worst when I was in my early 20s. I was a very easygoing child, and I'm pretty sure Dimitri was a very easygoing child, but he's like he'll think that he's going to grow up, pay taxes, go to the hospital, not be able to pay his hospital bill, and die of starvation. Like
Oh my God, is he a Pisces? What month was he born?
October. He's a Virgo. No, is that what it is? A Virgo, the one before Scorpio? No,
Virgos.
Libra. He's a Libra.
Oh, never mind. Oh, okay, yeah,
He's
that
like,
explains it. Okay.
if this happens and that happens, then like everything that spirals about ends with, and then I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have surgery, and then I'm gonna die, and something, and I'm gonna explode, or the world's gonna blow up, or
Oh
something.
my God. Oh
So
my God, your kid needs therapy. He's like 8 years old.
I know. I'm like, and I told the teacher, I'm like, I swear, nothing like significantly has changed.
He's not abused at home.
I
Like
don't.
mommy and daddy love him a lot.
But yeah, I don't want to like necessarily hash out a new topic. I just don't know what the heck. He's like the biggest worry wart.
Jeez, oh
that's
boy,
when you let him know that there are worse things than death, and that death would be the sweet release to all that pain.
stop it, stop it, do not have her traumatize her son, her only son.
Yeah, he apparently has enough worries. Again,
He
like
will never move out of her house.
I'm telling you, I'm getting sick of talking about taxes with my 8-year-old. Okay, like I don't. I'm sick and tired of it. He brings it up like every other day. Like, can we talk about like toys and shit or video
Tell him if he
games?
joins. Tell him he joins the military. He doesn't have to pay taxes. He still has to
Perfect.
file taxes, but you usually don't owe on taxes.
Well, then he says he's going to die if he goes to the military.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, win for losing.
I can't. I'm telling you, this kid, I don't understand how his brain works. Oh, anyway, I
That
love
was
you,
fun.
child of mine.
That was a fun topic.
Yeah. Thanks to Corey's daughter dropping the F bomb. It was a great conversation.
Don't forget
Oh,
how this all started.
that's what I wanted to say. When okay, because here in my opinion, these things are just words. In all seriousness, yeah, like as you're raising kids, though, kids need to understand like the limits and the boundaries of those words and whatnot. But I feel like I feel like once we get to a certain point, like when people start just like how I had the rule about like parents, it's on the parents to teach common sense till about 14, 15 years old. Then the kid needs to start figuring that shit out on their own and stuff like that. I kind of also feel the same way about like strong curse words and stuff like that, especially the F bomb. Um, if you're using it in the right context, like in my opinion, you can use it. But you have to be a certain age. You have to understand how that word works, and you can also cannot hurl that fucking word at me.
In the words of Patrick Starr on an episode of SpongeBob, they're called sentence enhancers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I view cursing I don't know, like maybe it's an older generation thing where cursing was like such a huge heinous crime and they would hold that as high as some other thing. I just feel like there's a lot worse things a kid and teenager could do over cussing. Now that
Hmm.
doesn't mean I'll look over it, but like I just take a different approach to it. I can't be like you can never ever ever say that word. It's more like all right, you need to
Yeah.
understand it. Why, like when it is acceptable and when it is not acceptable to use those words.
Right.
There you go. So I don't know.
Okay. I'm done on this topic. I am.
um before we close, and this is my maybe it's a late night, my delayed thinking, back to when we were talking about like young kids playing GTA, and you're asking me like if I would let my son play it if I bought it and supervised him.
Mhm.
It made me think of the parents that say, well, I let my kids drink at my house because they're under my roof. I just want to
Okay.
throw it out there. We can save
Okay.
that
No. No. No.
conversation
No.
for another
No.
day. There's merit to it. I don't think I'll be that parent. But
Mhm.
again, parenting styles. We'll get back to that. So thank
All
you.
right.
Good topic tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Was
Excellent.
there anything? Was there anything else we want to touch on tonight, or we wrapping?
I mean, we talked way more about that than I thought we were. I mean, we can wrap this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Same.
Let's wrap that
Hmm.
sucker up.
Yeah,
All
always
right.
wrap it up.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
Wrap it up unless you're trying to do something with it.
Well, I have 2 kids already, so I'm not trying.
You're gonna have a third. The way you're
Snip, snip.
going,
Snip, snip.
you're gonna have a third. The way you're going, and also you're losing all that weight. So I guarantee you, like your wife's gonna start looking at you like they're like the buffet feast is in front of her.
Hmm. I only have to lose 11 more pounds, and I'll be lighter than I was when I met my wife.
All
Whoa.
right.
Damn.
So that's
Yeah. Yeah. She's gonna jump your bones so fast. Oh
Don't
my
make a New
god.
Year's baby. That was that's what happened to me.
Ring in the new year. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, October kids. Yeah.
October 2nd. Yep.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, everyone. That's going to do it for us tonight. We're wrapping up another episode of Boss Rush After Dark. It's one more recording for this year. So, like, when does this place this episode, Corey? Like, remind us.
I don't know. I think it's the first or second episode of the year. I
Yeah,
can't
that's right. Because we
remember.
recorded the last episode of the year last week, technically for
Oh,
for patrons, right?
I think so.
Now,
Yeah.
you know what we should
Yeah.
do for next week? I kind of want to revisit New Year's resolutions. That doesn't have to be the whole topic next week, but I do want to touch
Mhm.
upon it.
Yeah, I would like to do that too.
Okay. Then we wait
All
for
right.
you.
All right.
Hmm.
Well, as always, I'd like to thank you all for listening and hanging out with us. If you're over in the YouTube land or in Podcast Central, remember check our show notes. You'll find all the information for how to get in contact with us, stay in contact with us, become a patron, and also you'll also get more information about Boss Rush Network as a whole. Also, do not forget, we're always looking to take your questions and things like that. We love questions. We also love feedback. Drop us a like if you love the show. If you didn't like the show, drop us a dislike, but also leave us a comment for why you dislike the show.
Yeah, and can I add one more thing? Because Corey shared the wrapped,
Yeah,
what's it? With the
Spotify.
thank you. I just don't use it. I appreciate the insight of like what the most listened to show topic was. So that I don't know, it really meant a lot to me as one of the co-hosts. So please, if there's a topic that you either A want us to revisit or talk about, please share it with us.
Yeah.
By the way, to all our listeners out there in the UK, we love you.
We love
Hmm.
you, and I love your accents. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll have to start being better about asking for topics too, because I don't really do that. I just haven't had, you know, had time to do the extra stuff.
Yeah, Corey
So
only is juggling buying a new house, working a full-time job, being a parent of 2 kids.
yeah,
Ah,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
February is going to be a very sparse. February and March are going to be sparse months for me. because
We should
we're
all
also because we didn't know we were buying a house this year, so we're going on vacation the first week of February.
Is that to Disney?
Life
Yeah.
comes at you fast.
Yeah. So that's neat.
All right. So yeah, on behalf of my co-host here tonight, Pat, Stephanie, Corey, thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. Like, you guys make the show work. We're going to go ahead and sign off, say goodnight. Remember, come back and tune in to us for another episode of Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show where we talk about stuff that's not always content appropriate for the network. We love you. Be safe out there. Happy holidays. And we will see you on the next episode.
Protect your digits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't let them get soggy.
Oh.
They have finger accoutrements.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.